Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet. Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे 24 chapter 7 verse 18 अध्वर्युण्णात्त हविषा यजमानो विशाम्पते धिया विशुद्धया दध्यौ तथा प्रादुरभूद् धरिः. Great sage Maitreya said to Vidura, my dear Vidura, as soon as King Daksha offered the clarified butter with Yajurveda mantras in sanctified meditation, Lord Vishnu appeared there in his original form as Narayana. Lord Vishnu is all-pervading. Any devotee who in sanctified meditation, following the regulative principles, chants the required mantras in service and devotional mood, can see Vishnu. It is said in the Brahma Samhita that a devotee whose eyes are anointed with the ointment of love of Godhead can see the Supreme Person of Godhead always within his heart. Lord Shamasundara is so kind to his devotee. Premanjanachurita bhakti vilochanena Santah sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti Yam Shamasundaramachintya gunaswarupam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So again, the same thing that we've been discussing about Daksha saw Shiva with devotion and reverence, and his heart was cleansed. Devotee who does sanctified meditation, following the regulative principles, meaning following the methods that have been given, he can see Vishnu. The important thing is devotional mood, loving devotional service. So simply by chanting Hare Krishna, like we shared that video on the group, Krishna, as soon as we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna is dancing on the tongue of the devotee. And Prabhupada makes this statement, what would you do when your spiritual master comes in front of you? So you will pay full attention, and you will serve with love and respect. Same thing, when we chant Hare Krishna, we should remember that Krishna is appearing on our tongue in sound incarnation. Just like we would be so attentive serving senior Vaishnava, serving Guru, etc. in their presence, we should have the same kind of attention towards chanting. And if we can do that, actually we can experience Krishna's presence. And when we experience Krishna's presence, automatically we will get purified. We will be able to chant even better chanting, even better purification. Slowly we'll come to the stage of prema, and then we can see Krishna. It's so easy. It's so easy provided we follow the process. Like I shared that quotation today from Srila Prabhupada. Regulative principles means do's and don'ts. Devotional service means do's and don'ts. If we simply do the do's and not follow the don'ts, we will not achieve the required result. Prabhupada is very clearly highlighting in that conversation with His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj. But if we do this, then we can actually see Vishnu. We don't have to do anything else. because Krishna is so kind to his devotee. तदा स्वप्रभया तेषां द्योतयन्त्यादिशो दश मुष्णं स्तेजौपानीतस् साक्ष्येण स्तोत्रवाजिना. Lord Narayana was seated on the shoulder of Stotra or Garuda, who had big wings. As soon as the Lord appeared, all directions were illuminated, diminishing the luster of Brahma and the others present. A description of Narayana is given in the following two shlokas. So when Krishna appears in the heart, when Nama manifests on the tongue, actually all directions are illuminated. Meaning all the dirt is gone and one becomes enlightened. So there will be light. So devotee becomes bright-faced. Prabhupada used to say, devotee becomes bright-faced. Because if he's actually in touch with Krishna, then we become bright-faced. Now, bright-faced doesn't mean that if we are dark complexion that our color will change, but that dark complexion also becomes bright. So it's not about the color, but it's about the glow. Yeah. And if you are actually in touch with Krishna through devotional service, that glow can be seen. Shamo hiranyarashanorka kiritajusto नीलालकभ्रमरनं मण्डितकुण्डलास्यः शङ्खाब्जचक्रशरचापगदासि चर्म व्यग्रैर्हिरण्मयभुजैरिव कर्णिकारः. His complexion was blackish, his garment yellow like gold, and his helmet as dazzling as the sun. So this is Narayana's description. His hair was bluish, the color of black bees. See, bluish color of black bees. So dark. And his face was decorated with earrings, which are Karna Kundala. Kundala. Mandita Kundala Asyaha. His 8 hands held a conch shell. So 8 hands, not 4 hands. So Narayana appeared in 8 hands. So conch shell, club, lotus, and chakra, wheel. Right, Shanka, chakra, gada, padma. And then bow, arrow, shield and sword. And they were decorated with golden ornaments such as bangles and bracelets. In his 8 hands, along with these things that he was holding, his hands were decorated with golden ornaments such as bangles and bracelets. His whole body resembled a blossoming tree, beautifully decorated with various kinds of flowers. And just imagine a blossoming tree. It would be so attractive. Beautifully decorated with flowers. So it will be very attractive, the whole tree. Similarly, his whole body is attractive. The face of Lord Vishnu, as described in this verse, appears like a lotus flower with bees humming over it. All of the ornaments on the body of Vishnu resemble molten gold of the reddish gold color of the morning sunrise. See? And the ornaments, molten gold of the reddish gold color, morning sunrise. So not like the pure yellowish gold, it's reddish gold. The Lord appears just as the morning sun rises to protect the whole universal creation. His arms display different weapons, and his 8 hands are compared to the 8 petals of a lotus flower. All the weapons mentioned are for the protection of his devotees. Generally, in the 4 hands of Vishnu, there are a wheel, club, conch shell, and lotus flower. These 4 symbols are seen in the 4 hands of Vishnu in different arrangements. The club and the wheel are the Lord's symbols of punishment for the demons and miscreants. The lotus and conch shell are used to bless the devotees. There are always two classes of men, devotees and demons, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya Sadhunam. Lord is always ready for the protection of devotees and annihilation of demons. And he will also annihilate the demonic tendencies in us, to protect us from those demoniac tendencies. There are demons and devotees in this material world, but in the spiritual world, there's no such distinction. No such distinction means, so various acharyas give various description for this. Some say there are no demons at all in the spiritual world. Some say there are demons, like there are animals in a zoo, and like, which means controlled, and they appear whenever required for Krishna's in Krishna's Leela. If they have to appear, they will appear. So different acharyas say different things about this, but generally we should understand there's no like this envious demons. I mean, even if somebody is given that role, it's more of a role than anything else. In other words, Lord Vishnu is the proprietor of both the material and spiritual worlds. In the material world, almost everyone is of the demoniac nature, but there are also devotees who appear to be in the material world, although they are always situated in the spiritual world. So devotee means this. Every time, this is why, when I read Prabhupada's word, I can't feel, I mean, I can't think that I'm a devotee, because this is the standard. Devotees appear in the material world, although they're always situated in the spiritual world. So unless we come to this stage of always being situated in the spiritual world, we cannot really call ourselves devotees, because this is generally the pure devotee that Prabhupada writes about in his purport, right? Um, yeah. So a devotee's position is always transcendental, and he's always protected. So he's always transcendental, he's always protected. Of course, even if we are not always transcendental, still we might at times call out helplessly to Krishna, and Krishna will reciprocate. It's not like unless we have already reached that always transcendental position, Krishna will not reciprocate with us. No, he will definitely reciprocate. And that reciprocation will make us actually surrender more, become more transcendental, or at least it should. Mm. Understanding how we are worthless, but still Krishna is giving so much mercy. Mm. Mm. Yesterday, talking to some devotee, the devotee was saying, actually, I should be very careful about thinking, asking. I mean, any desire comes in the heart, looks like Krishna is purifying, he is fulfilling. So I have to be very careful about what I think. It's like that. Krishna knows how to reciprocate with different devotees. For some devotees, whatever they think, Krishna will make it happen, because then maybe they will realize and stop asking material things. So here he knows the best way to deal with different devotees. For the other devotees, maybe he doesn't give anything at all, and that's his reciprocation. So it depends. But Krishna is showing in all cases that I'm there, I'm present, I'm behind you, I'm protecting you, I'm protecting your bhakti. Uh, so don't worry. Mm, don't worry. Focus on serving me with love and affection. Mm. And this beautiful form descriptions we should always remember. Mm. We should be able to describe Vishnu or Krishna's form. Like this different limbs we should be able to describe. It's so beautiful, and it purifies every time we are able to just remember. And if we are able to remember the description, then the image of Vishnu also can come in our mind's heart, or mirror eye of the mind or heart, whatever you want to call it, right? Basically, and we can think of that of Vishnu in that form. Mm. And if we can, even briefly meditate on that form, mm, it's so purifying. So this is nice. We should know these descriptions. Vakshasya vadhur vanamalyudara आसावलोक कलया रमयंस्त विश्वम पार्श्वभ्रमद व्यजन चामर राजहंसः श्वेतातपत्रशशिनोपरि रज्यमानः. Lord Vishnu looked extraordinarily beautiful because the goddess of fortune and a garland were situated on his chest. The goddess of fortune was situated on his chest. So there are two descriptions of this. One is there is a white hair, which is generally called Srivatsa. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita, on Krishna specifically, I've been trying to find this out whether description is there for Vishnu also. I've not come across. But it says there's also golden hair. There's a golden mark, not golden hair, I think. There's a golden mark, also which represents Lakshmi, is what I read in one of the purports in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But with respect to description of Vishnu, normally it just said Srivatsa, white hair. Hmm. So the goddess of fortune was present and the garland was situated on his chest. His face was beautifully decorated with a smiling attitude, always smiling attitude, which can captivate the entire world. So even those devotees who have a very smiling attitude, they are very attractive. Everybody wants to be with such people. And this is a glimpse of the quality that is there in Krishna. Hmm. Face was beautifully decorated with smiling attitude, which can captivate the entire world, especially the devotees. Fans of white hair appeared on both sides, which is basically Vyajana, of the Lord like white swans, and the white canopy overhead looked like the moon. So white, white, white. The smiling face of Lord Vishnu is pleasing to the whole world. Not only devotees, but even non-devotees are attracted by such a smile. This verse nicely describes how the sun, moon, eight-petal lotus flower, and humming black bees were represented by the fans of hair, fans of hair, which is sun, overhead canopy, moon, moving earrings on both sides of his face, uh, like a lotus flower, and his blackish hair like humming black bees. Altogether accompanied by conch shell, wheel, club, lotus flower, bow, arrow, shield, and sword in his hands, these presented a grand and beautiful audience for Lord Vishnu, which captivated all the demigods there, including Daksha and Lord Brahma. And so Vishnu Krishna is so beautiful that everybody gets attracted. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So it's a natural position to get attracted by him. It's a very unfortunate, uh, conditioned, contaminated state not to get attracted by Krishna. Maybe everybody will not have the this purification for Shravanam. But definitely when somebody goes to the temple, sees the beautiful form of the Lord, they get attracted. They get attracted. So it's so attractive. And those who, the fortunate ones who can, um, really meditate, uh, very full attention, concentrate on the form of the Lord, on his different limbs, etc. They're very fortunate because then they can retain that. They can retain that image in their mind, and it's devotion, smaranam. So, which is why this deity worship is very, very important. Because while Bhagavata Vidhi is there, but Bhagavata Vidhi is for very advanced devotees, not normal like neophytes. Neophytes are attracted by the form of the Lord, and then slowly they'll come to the platform of. They should come to the platform, Shravanam. This is another challenge for us actually. Our sampradaya is about actually Bhagavata Vidhi, which is Shravanam Kirtanam. And Pancharatrika Vidhi, which is basically deity worship, is given more as a addendum to purify our contaminated heart. But that's not the primary process. But sometimes that becomes the primary process. Shravanam Kirtanam takes a backseat. That will not help progress. Of course, unless somebody is like so much dedicatedly attached to Archanam, and they're engaged in all kinds of services directly connected with the Lord, and they're always able to meditate. If somebody is in that state, then yeah, then any Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, any of the process can make help in achieving perfection. But what is recommended for us specifically in Kali Yuga is Shravanam Kirtanam. So we shouldn't do Archanam, sacrificing Shravanam Kirtanam. Mm. But both are required at least initially, and subsequently Shravanam Kirtanam is good enough because Yeah, Lord will manifest himself to such devotees anyway. So, mm. तमुपागतम् आलक्ष्य सर्वे सुरगणादयः प्रणेमु सहसोत्थाय ब्रह्मेन्द्रत्रयक्ष नायकाः. As soon as Lord Vishnu was visible, all the demigods, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, the Gandharvas, and all present there immediately offered their respectful obeisances by falling down straight before him. Manmanabha madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So namaskuru, we have to offer respectful obeisances by falling down. We have to offer respectful obeisances first to Srila Prabhupada as soon as we enter the temple. And then if the altar is closed, we should offer obeisances to the Vaishnavas. And then when the altar is open only, we should offer obeisances to the Supreme Lord. We should not offer obeisances to the Lord when the altar is closed. I told this multiple times. This is part of Vaishnava etiquette. And Lord is in his own pastime. Is either resting or accepting service, etc., bhoga. So we don't disturb. Yeah, but when as soon as we see the Lord, meaning darshan is open, we immediately fall down. It appears that Lord Vishnu is the supreme Lord even of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. What to speak of the demigods, Gandharvas, and ordinary living entities? It is stated in a prayer, Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta. So all demigods worship Lord Vishnu. Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, Maruta, all of them. Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yoginah. Yogis concentrate their minds on the form of Lord Vishnu. Thus, Lord Vishnu is worshipable by all demigods, Gandharvas, even Lord Shiva, Brahma. Tad Vishnu paramam padam sada pashyanti surayah. Vishnu is therefore the supreme person of Godhead. Even though Lord Shiva was previously referred to in the prayers by Lord Brahma as the supreme, when Lord Vishnu appeared, Shiva also fell prostrated before him to offer respectful obeisances. So we have to offer obeisances. This is very, very important. And offering obeisances does not mean just external. We offer obeisances, then really we don't have any respect for that person or any, no, that this kind of artificial stuff we should not do. When we when we are falling down in front of others, we treat them as, I mean, specifically we do vancha kalpatarubhyascha. Now that shouldn't be just like maukic, like it shouldn't just be lip service. We should actually feel that, respect and service mindedness. Actually, today I shared one more very nice, one of our senior devotees, Kripamay Prabhu, had sent me one from fourth canto, one purport. So nicely, actually, Prabhupada is talking about the Navavida Bhakti. And he says Navavida Bhakti for 7 processes, till Archanam, till Dasyam, uh, are actually part of regulative devotional service, which is Vaidhi Bhakti. And then eventually devotees have to come to the platform of Saksham and Atmanivedanam. Mm. So, these things are there. We have to understand these things. We have to make progress. Um, and offering respect, Mamani Namanadena is very, very important. So, when you're offering respect, we should understand that our position is that of Dasyam. I mean, we are servants or to all the Vaishnavas. Uh, Even if you are given the position of, guiding them or whatever it is, still the mood has to be that of Dasyam. And we've discussed this multiple times, that whole Vaikunta, Goloka, everything is just based on Dasyam. Hmm. Monday is Balaram Purnima. Yeah, and one more thing, please don't call Balaram Jayanti. I've explained this multiple times. Jayanti is used only with Krishna. It's only Krishna Jayanti. But it's for everybody else, it is the appropriate tithi, like Rama Navami, Natsimha Chaturdashi, like that. Balaram Purnima. Uh, so Balaram, he is the Savior Bhagavan. He is the Savior Bhagavan. So Monday maybe we will hear about Balaram Katha in the morning. Um, so Krishna is, sorry, he is the Sevak Bhagavan and Krishna is Sevya Bhagavan. Krishna is the one who receives service. Balaram is the Bhagavan who gives service, who does service, who serves. So starting from Balaram, the whole existence, whole creation, whole, yeah, existence, you can't say creation, everything that exists in spiritual world, material world, everything is to serve Krishna. Everything. Even Krishna's own expansions, right? Like starting from Balaram, Narayana, Vishnu, everybody is here just to serve Krishna, Mula Purushottama. Mm. Um, so of course they are non-different, but still they are different because they are there to serve Krishna. Mm. Krishna in different forms is serving himself. So all of us are part and parcel of Krishna. So our real reason for existence is service, service to Krishna, service to his devotees. Mm. And even in spiritual world, even up to Shringara Rasa, not just Swakiya, even Parakiya, everything is based on Dasya. So this Dasya is first has to become very firm, fixed in our heart, in terms of us giving respect to others, serving others, being in this mood of giving than taking. Uh, Many times I see, devotees come, they sit, they attend program, they do some service if they are given, and then they go. Then there are other devotees who ask and take service. That is the real dasya, not forced dasya. Forced dasya is somebody has to keep, okay, I'm assigning service, do this, do that. Even after assigning service, we don't see 100%, interest in doing that service. No, that's not dasya. That's like obligatory something like, I mean, I don't know what to call. Right? But dasya actually means wholeheartedly. Yes, I'm the servant. Yes, okay, what can I do? How can I serve? Only when we come to this real dasya, we can actually then come to Sakhya and Atmanivedana. Otherwise, we can't come to Sakhya and Atmanivedana. Mm. We can't develop friendship. Has to be friendship with Krishna is also based on dasya. It's very achintya. This whole rasas are very inconceivable. Parakiya rasa, Radharani, gopis are scolding Krishna, and then but still it's based on dasya. This we'll understand only when we come to Chaitanya Charitamrita. But this respectful obeisances is very, very important. It shouldn't be just lip service. It should be deeply ingrained in our heart, saying that I'm a servant. Dasa, 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 anu dasa. And that servant means we should understand the mood of a servant, the qualities of a servant. Mm. We will simply say, your servant. We will simply say, okay, I'm initiated, I'm this dasa. But we don't really actually mean it, or we're not taking it very seriously. We are very serious that I'm actually Prabhu. Uh, so other scholars, Prabhu will say, yeah, 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 I'm Prabhu. Uh, right. So we have to understand that our mood has to be that of dasya. तत्तेजसा हतरुचा तन्नजिह्वास साध्वसः मूर्ध्ना धृताञ्जलिपुटा उपतस्थुर adokshajam. In the presence of the glaring effulgence of the bodily luster of Narayana, everyone else's luster faded away and everyone stopped speaking. Fearful, with awe and veneration, all present touched their hands to their heads and prepared to offer their prayers to the Supreme Person of Godhead, Adokshaja. Okay. There are any questions, comments? Otherwise, another 5 minutes we can continue. Any questions, comments at this point of time? Because I intend to close by 9. So if there are questions, comments, then we will discuss. If there are no questions, comments, then we can read one or two more verses. Nothing? Okay. अप्यर्वाग्वृत्तयो यस्य आत्मभू आदयः यथा मतिगृह्णन्ति स्म कृतानुग्रहविग्रहम्. Although the mental scope of even demigods like Brahma was unable to comprehend the unlimited glories of the Supreme Lord, mental scope. Mental scope, meaning how much intelligence is there, mm, that cannot comprehend the unlimited glories of the Supreme Lord. They were all above. They were all able to perceive the transcendental form. Although they could not comprehend, they were able to perceive the transcendental form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by His grace. By His grace. Only by such grace could they offer their respectful prayers according to their different capacities. It's only by His grace. Mm, Puratyada, Krishna only reveals himself by His grace. Not, we cannot force Krishna to reveal himself. Mm. So here, by His grace, He revealed. Even though at a mental platform, nobody can comprehend the unlimited glories. I mean, sometimes we might say, yeah, I'm hearing these things. Yeah, I understand. I'm able to understand what is the glory of the Lord. No, but it is unlimited. We can only understand to the extent of our purification, to the extent that He reveals. That's all. Mm. But it's unlimited. Even Ananta Shesha is not able to comprehend fully. Because he's able to understand, then the glories of Krishna further expand. Then again he's able to understand some more, then again Krishna's glories expand. So it's like unlimited competition. Mm. So ability for comprehension increases, glories also increase. So it's achintya. But then by Lord's grace, He will reveal to whatever extent to whatever extent we mm, are qualified, or uh, yeah, we are yogya. Uh, we Lord will reveal, mm, to whatever extent we deserve, the Lord will reveal. Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, is always unlimited, and His glories cannot be completely enumerated by anyone, even by personality like Lord Brahma. It is said that Ananta, direct incarnation of the Lord, has unlimited mouths, and with each mouth He has been trying to describe the glories of the Lord for an unlimited span of time. Yet the glories of the Lord remain unlimited, and it therefore never finishes. Hmm. It's not possible for any ordinary living entity to understand or to glorify the unlimited personality of Godhead. But one can offer prayers or service to the Lord according to one's particular capacity. See, this itself is unimaginable. How can glory of the Lord be unlimited? What does that even mean? That Ananta Shesha has been glorifying continuously from time immemorial. He's still not reached the end. How can we try to understand Krishna in our, you know, insignificant existence? So one can understand according to one's particular capacity. What is this capacity? This capacity is increased by the service spirit. Sevan Mukhehi Jivado means that the service of the Lord begins with the tongue. This refers to chanting. By chanting Hare Krishna, one begins the service of the Lord. Another function of the tongue is to taste and accept the Lord's prasada. We have to begin our service to the unlimited with the tongue and become perfect in chanting and accepting the Lord's prasada. We have to become perfect in chanting. We also have to accept Lord's prasad. Accepting Lord's prasadam is also not overeating. Of course, initially we do, because that's also mercy. But eventually we should treat that as mercy and just honor as much as is required. To accept the Lord's prasada means to control the entire set of senses. Tongue is considered to be most uncontrollable sense because it hankers for so many unwholesome eatables, thereby forcing the living entity into the dungeon of material conditional life. As the living entity transmigrates from one form of life to another, he has to eat so many abominable foodstuffs that finally there is no limit. The tongue should be engaged in chanting and in eating the Lord's prasada so that the other senses will be controlled. Now it's interesting to think about this statement. Prabhupada is saying should be engaged in chanting and in eating so that other senses will be controlled. But we've been engaged in chanting and eating Lord's prasada, but our senses don't seem to have been fully controlled. What is the reason for that? Chanting is the medicine and prasada is the diet. With this process, one can begin his service, and as the service increases, the Lord reveals more and more to the devotee. But there's no limit to his glories and there's no limit to engaging oneself in the service of the Lord. So we should, there's no limit to engaging ourselves. We can only restrict ourselves, that's all. Now, maybe 2 minutes we will just contemplate on this. Even though we are engaged in chanting and eating Lord's Prasada, why is that our senses are not fully controlled yet? Answer lies in this statement. Anybody wants to try?
Because our chanting is not.
Yeah, because we are not taking the medicine properly. Hmm. If you don't take the medicine properly and just eat diet, okay, we are happy, right? Lord's Prasadam. But we are not taking the medicine, so we are not getting cured. And that is the reason this chanting has to be the first thing in the morning, most important service. We should make sure that we can sit and chant, continuously 16 rounds. And of course, it should be the first thing in the day, etc., etc. So much emphasis is given to chanting because unless we chant nicely, that is the medicine. Everything else will work only if the medicine is taken properly. So we have to focus on. Hey, 9 o'clock. We'll stop here. Any comments? Okay. Sure. Going forward, I'll stop at 9:50, 8:58, 8:57, 8:58, so that we'll have 2-3 minutes. Okay. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhishta Kripa Sindhubhyo Vacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dhanwad.